This isn't supposed to happen. Notice, if you will, that I am on top of the fence. How did I get here? Well, it turns out, you see how this fence connects over here? I am half a block higher over here, which means that I can actually jump up from that half block up onto the top of the block and a half high fence. That's not a good thing. So using my extreme overpowered multi-tool, and that completes a first degree of safety test on my fence. Now, if you're curious, first degree does not mean most secure possible. It means it passes the basic tests. There is no way down from simply walking and jumping normally. Running jumps are not tested, and I can't fall here. I can't fall here. I can't fall here. And if you are curious, yes, I'm a little scared because this is what you call a live test with an inventory full of stuff. So either I am insane or I am very, very trusting of my skill in fencing, or both. And yes, the answer is both. All right. Let's get to some real work today. All right, what would you say is useful or wanted for the ChromatiCraft casting
You will
structure?
need a view, if indirect, to you know, the air around and all that. But you're not going to need to like log the whole forest or build it really high up or anything like that. Anyway, and I don't remember if this was originally an idea of yours as well, Frey, but Jesus, why my throat's getting fluid all of a sudden?
Yeah, I believe that was my idea.
You notice it changes the color as it goes through the WorldRift too.
Yeah.
Wait,
It also
okay.
resets the lifespan timer and tells it the mana burst, hey, you come from me now, so that the original mana spreader is free to fire another burst, increasing the effective throughput.
That is, neat.
So the upper right corner is a mana pool. It goes into a block that shoots it to the next block to a destination pool?
No.
No.
Those things with the dark centers and the bright rims are WorldRifts from ChromatiCraft. Think of them like multiply connected space. What goes in one side of one comes out the other side of the other one of that same color. So that you can see the...
Oh!
The one in the center of the pack is the same color as the top one.
Right.
And then it comes out, that goes into the magenta one, comes out that one, goes into the cyan one, or like sky blue one. Comes out the sky blue one, goes into the violet one, comes out the violet one, goes back into the cyan one, comes out the other end of the cyan one into the mana pool.
Aha. I thought WorldRifts had to go from one dimension to another dimension, not within the same...
No, they can work within the same dimension.
Hmm.
They're like a much more powerful, but somewhat more finicky Tesseract.
Okay.
I used them on the last server to ferry the steam. I put one... I embedded one in the wall next to my reactor and sent a steam line into it. Had the other one up in the roof of my house with steam line coming out, you know, the opposite side, and you're driving turbines. I didn't need to run steam lines everywhere.
A bit more performant, I would guess.
Wait, what?
Somewhat more performant, I would guess.
That's also probably true. Okay.
Sound like you're gonna throw up a lung.
And what is the comparator clock doing to the mana spreader?
Firing it, that's a redstone mana spreader.
Oh, okay. and the second beam fires before the first beam has reached its destination.
Correct, which is normally not doable with mana bursts. Normally, the mana spreader will only fire once its first mana burst is dissipated. But by taking over that mana burst, I can change that.
All right, how would I make the casting table underground?
Well, if you're talking about like how would you connect the repeater network to it, you could do two things. You could either make a tunnel for each one underground, bring it from the surface to underground, or you could have the repeaters, just be on the surface until it gets into your base, and then have some way to make the energy to go down. So like vertical shafts. And since you can build repeaters sideways, you could like build them alongside the wall.
A vertical shaft with the repeaters firing the energy down. They don't run into their own hitbox?
No.
Well, if you go down by more than about 40 degrees, 45 degrees maybe, they will. You can't go too steeply up or down with repeaters. Now you can build them in any direction. You don't have to build them vertically. You can build them, coming out of a wall or whatever if you want to go straight down.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So I can go straight down by having the
repeaters literally stick out of the wall sideways.
All right, so I can have the shaft go straight down.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Can they go through glass?
They're supposed to, but currently they cannot. It's intermittent. You watched my world tour, didn't you?
Your world tour? Yes.
Of the last server. Remember when I was standing up on the lumen tree and I was explaining there was a problem, saying like the beams couldn't go through glass, and then they proceeded to go through glass right in front of my face, and then I said, "Oh look, it's fixed," and then it stopped going through glass.
I do not remember that, so I have not seen that particular
I think this was in
tour.
part 2. Maybe it was part 3. I don't remember.
All right. Vertical down into the caves. Challenge accepted.
That will reset the timer. Oh my god! Oh my god, what have I done?
What happened?
What have I done? What have I done?
Reika, what the fuck?
I don't know.
You made them fat. They're fat.
That's a function of how much mana they have in them, actually.
So you've got this giant machine gun plasma burst.
Oh dear.
Now, here's the better question: is why aren't you using a Gaia mana spreader?
They actually do, by the way, taper off with distance like they're used to. It's just I evidently have, not accounted for the fact that they've not lost anything yet. Wait, what's the difference about the Gaia one?
The speed that it transfers.
Okay, then I don't care about that. Also, I don't think there's a redstone Gaia one, is there?
Because I think it should automatically have support for redstone.
Well, because the thing is because you need, if you're using World Rift, you need a redstone one. Because you can't fire into a World Rift. Well, actually, you know what?
You could make it
a mana tile.
You could make it a mana tile.
Wait, no, because that doesn't give me control over the actual mana burst. I can make it like transparent to mana burst and all that, and I've already done that. But I don't believe I can make it actually operate on the mana burst entity itself. Nor do I think I can create a mana burst entity.
Is it getting bigger as it goes through more world rifts?
Yes.
Is that intended?
No.
That sounds broken.
Well, I'm trying to reset the loss, right? Clearly, I didn't actually, succeed at that. B.get. There's like a total mana loss, isn't it? Oh, it's not exposed. Nah.
So is the loss a function of time or is it...
Get starting mana. There's a get starting mana. Sorry, what?
Is it a function of time or distance for loss?
Time. Every update cycle it loses a bit. Okay, there we go. I got it. I figured it out. B.set mana. B.get starting mana. Okay, so I don't need to do some weird, homebrew calculation.
I have no idea how I took damage there.
I had to see the higher throughput interact with the WorldRifts and the giant beams.
Okay, give me 1 second to find the Gaia mana spreader.
40
I'm not
blocks
sure.
should be more than enough.
You should check the, I don't know. I don't know how the mana spreaders really work, but I just think it would be pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm just looking through any item.
So I want to be at negative 70.
See how it interacts with large amounts of mana going through it. Just notice that it might be the size of your screen.
Glimmering Dreamwoods. Where the hell? Oh, there it is. Elven mana spreader. Gaia mana spreader.
Yeah, the Gaia is the...
X negative 70.
And it does not seem to react to redstone because it's not doing anything with the pulse.
25.
Now I can make
so 25, negative 70.
That said, you know what I can do? I can make the WorldRift a mana tile, right? Just so you can link it, right, with the tool, right? Even though the WorldRift won't do shit with the mana tile, you know what I mean? But yes, I can do that. So I need to look for I mana collision ghost and I mana collision ghost.
So if I start digging here and go down, I should run into...
It's not I mana tile, what is it?
And actually, it's up a hill, so I'll need to start a little further back than that.
Well, that's really dumb. The only mana spreader that can be made a redstone mana spreader is the original one.
Yeah,
but I guess that makes sense. You don't really need a higher throughput when it comes to control bursts. Force relay.
Now here's a question: should I balance this? Because it resets the mana amount, right? So that it completely resets the mana burst's lifetime, right? While allowing a new one to come out of the
6
mana
more
burst,
blocks.
thus increasing your throughput. Should I make it that for every WorldRift a mana burst goes through, its loss per tick goes up, so that its lifespan outside of that
two for
gets
the...
shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter.
Oh.
But it still replenishes it. Basically, the distance it could go between, from WorldRift to target, or
so roughly speaking,
after more and more WorldRifts.
Right down here,
one WorldRift, but
diagonally down from here should take me to underneath all of this to that.
Wait, lost through WorldRifts?
No, not lost. It actually resets the timer of the mana burst, so that say the mana burst starts off with 800 mana and loses 50 mana a tick. It'll last 16 ticks, right, before despawning.
The only problem is this tunnel system.
So instead of being 40 mana a tick it loses, it goes up to 60 and then 80, and so that every WorldRift it goes through increases the loss per tick to counterbalance the refreshing behavior.
This tunnel system really isn't big enough to call a home base.
Oh god, I'm tired. My mind is not here anymore.
Okay, you can't. Okay, just making an I mana tile does not make it link to the WorldRift. Let's figure out what I need to make it link to. I mana. It's probably like I mana receiver.
Oh no.
Just like the gearbox.
Alright, I definitely prefer dynamic lighting.
And receive mana from bursts. Return this dot is linked. Receive mana is a no-op, is full, false is ghost, true. Okay. There we go.
Oh, missed one. Where exactly does this thing end up? Make sure I know where it's at. This cave system just isn't big enough to call home.
Okay, launching game again. I'm pretty happy with myself.
This has the look and feel of another cave node, except that it wouldn't have all of this ground cover on it if it was. So it's just odd
I'm gonna put
terrain.
these GIFs on my thread.
Oh.
I just realized I haven't pasted all the other ones yet, so it's gonna be a lot of GIFs pasted on the thread.
Those torches are the zapping range. Stay away from them. That cave has nothing to it. Wait, is that a... Did I miss a little cave spot there?
Did I ever paste the flowers GIF onto the thread? Does anyone remember?
I don't know.
Can someone check?
Yeah, I'll check.
Okay, there we go. Looks like that. Oh, it still won't let me
Nope.
link the wand or to the world rift. Do you know why that is?
I didn't hear half of that question. You cut out.
Okay, you know, remember I'm saying I can't link the Gaia spreader to the world rift?
Yeah.
The reason for that is because the world rift doesn't like it. Your clicks go right through it.
Doesn't have a hitbox.
I only brought one.
Whoa!
Silly me.
I wonder if you could trick the Gaia spreader into, you know, shooting a mana burst by linking it to a block that's on the other side of the world rift.
I tried that, and like as you were saying,
Nothing.
it didn't work.
Alright. So no, there's no other cave there. No matter how you look at it, this area, the caves here, just are not big enough to call home. So if there is room to call home, it has to be inside that ravine.
Okay, let me figure something out. Item. Does anyone happen to know what the twig wand? That's probably what it's called. I want.
Which means,
bindable.
as I said, starting around here and digging diagonally down to reach it. I am way too low and too far out over here. and I'm way too high and close from over here. So digging straight through the granite looks to be the way to get there. Alright, let me go and equip. Surveying is done. Let me go and get the equipment.